Yo, what's up, everybody? Welcome to Kicks and Slides, where we bring the beautiful game to life. This is me, your captain, Moj. So fasten your seatbelts as we sail through the news that we have today about Manchester United, with of course the forwards that they are linked to, and also the potential exit of Rasmus Holjund. I think he needs to, I think he definitely needs to leave or exit United. I don't think his 2-3 years at the club has really been fruitful as we had hoped it would be, and I think it would be best for him to leave, to go seek game time elsewhere. We have seen how a few of the players that were at United have found form at different clubs, and maybe this is what Holland needs himself, especially with the rumors that they want to bring in Sesko at the club. I think if Sesko comes, then it's going to be very difficult for Holjund to get some game time. And I realize how there's a bit of a conundrum at United, right? They want Sesko, but Amorim unfortunately prefers Ollie Watkins. He prefers Ollie Watkins because he thinks that Ollie will be a better fit for his system at the club, and when you look at the two, when you compare the two strikers, in Ollie and Benjamin Sesko, you realize that Ollie is he's a safer bet. He's a safer bet for United because he's been in the Premier League all his football career, right? However it began, whenever it began, in fact, he's been there. He hasn't played anywhere else, so he knows the league in and out. And he has also 75 goals in 184 appearances. He has also, scored double digits in 5 consecutive seasons. Last season, he scored 16 goals and also created 8 assists, and that brings his goal involvement to at least 24. And now with his goal involvement in goals, he is behind Haaland and Alexander Isak and Mo Salah, of course. So you can already see that this is a player that is fighting among the best in the world, or the best at least in the league. So if United were to bring him at the club, it'll be good. But I must also admit the fact that he's not any younger. He's 29 years of age. And if he is to solve Manchester United's problems, it'll be a short-term thing. It'll be a short-term thing. When we talk of Ole, he is very good inside the box. He's a goal poacher. His movement is second to none. He knows how to move. He knows how to link up play. So when he has players like Mbeumo and Cunha, they'll also be as much, involved when it comes to goals. All the 3 players, they would also have, their fair share of the pie. And now when we talk about Sesko, as young as he is, 22 by the way, and still has, a ceiling ahead of him. He has immense potential, by the way. And also, he hasn't really, I would say that last season was his breakthrough season, because he scored at least in 33 appearances. I think he scored 15 goals or 13, somewhere there. So he still hasn't scored too many, and he's from a different league. It's a risk. It's very expensive, by the way. It's very expensive because he would be at least 70 to 80 million pounds. But obviously, looking at his age, and the ceiling ahead of him, one would understand why he's worth that amount. But with Ole, he is cheaper, but United also are refusing to pay the 50 million pounds that was asked of Villa back, of course, in January when Arsenal, asked about his availability. They gave Arsenal that 50 million pounds. So now United also don't think he's worth that amount because of probably his age. But when it comes to long-term investment and short-term, I think Ole would be a short-term, you'd fix the problems short-term because of his age. And I think he has, 5 seasons maybe in his locker. But with Sesko, if he hits the ground running, then that would be a long-term investment, something that will pay off, obviously, going forward. And if at any point United wishes to sell him, they can still get something. He's 22. By probably when he's 28 or when he's the same age as Ollie Watkins, and he has done extremely well, by the way. You can already imagine how much United would have made out of him. So he's a better investment. But with Ollie, it isn't really. But so it is what it is. United don't want to buy him for 50 million quid. So if maybe they were to offer him for cheaper, maybe United would have went for him. But with Benjamin Sesko, he's younger and he is keen on joining the club over Newcastle, it seems. And if they bring him, it'll still work. But Benjamin Sesko isn't really, a box-to-box striker, sort of like. He's got power. He's 6'5", he's got the physique, he's got the height. So he's not really good at link-up play. So that would mean that Cunha and Mbeumo would have to work for him. But it can work as well because they also have, Captain Fantastic and Bruno. He can also bring in those long crosses. So they might get something out of him, But with Ollie, they can form a really formidable front three, one that is needed. Gone are the days now where United went for soft players whom when they lose the ball they just stand still. Now when they're getting players like Cunha and Mbeumo, these are players that are going to fight for the badge. And so will be a player like Ollie also defends. We see him at Aston Villa. You see, with Ollie, as older as he is, 29 is actually old, by the way, but as old as he is, he's proven. We've seen how great he is. Or how good, maybe great is just the far-fetched word. We've seen how good he can be. So with Sesko, it's, and also I think these German clubs are wrecking it right now. They're just stealing, they're finessing all these English clubs. You can imagine 80 for a 22-year-old who just scored 13 goals in 33 appearances. That is a steal. But of course, now it goes to how desperate you are, and United at this point are very desperate. So, and there aren't many forwards to really choose from because all the possible good forwards have gone to Liverpool at this point. Ekitike, and right now also there's Isaac. Also, he is currently in Spain. At the Real Sociedad grounds training there. They've given him the field to just train there alone. To keep fit, of course. He's just waiting on Liverpool to, bid. But obviously Liverpool are also waiting to hear if Newcastle are willing to sell him. Now, how will Newcastle sell him when Sesko, the replacement they were looking at, wants to go to United? So that would mean also they are in a dilemma of their own. Will they then go on and bring in Wissa at the club? If not Wissa, then will they go for Ollie? And we're talking about a club that will be competing in the Champions League, and right now they do not have the pull factor. They're not really bringing in anyone at the club, and that's going to prove to be a problem. And I'm thinking maybe that also might be, a problem in them letting go of Isaac. Will they be able to let him go when they are failing to get strikers? That's also a metaphor, that will also unveil itself with time. But for now, really, I just wanted to look at the, Ollie Watkins and Benjamin Sesko comparison. Who is a better fit? Sesko has the age with him, also has the potential. He has it. He's that good. We've seen him, glimpses of it. So once he plays with players that know how to play, players that when he's in a team that holds most of the ball, I mean, let's face it, United aren't that good at the minute, but once they assemble the right type of players, he's going to have most of the ball, he's going to have most of the chances. It's just a matter of him betting it. But with him, he's more of a power guy than precision, which is something that Ollie would give United, but with age, I think that's one of the reasons why United will then go for Sesko. As a United fan, you can also give your input on the comment section, And thank you guys for watching until this point. Please do not forget to like and subscribe, and share your thoughts also on what you think of the situation that's currently taking place at United. Thank you guys for watching. See you again soon. Bye bye.